Hey everybody, Billy Christians here. I'm him, that's me, and I'm back, kind of. I'm making a video about Billy's Toon Times because I really need to talk about it and what the future of it is. So we're going to get started. If you don't know about Billy's Toon Times, it's a cartoon I've been producing for about 10 years. Billy's Toon Times is about a teenage boy named Billy, obviously, getting thrown into wacky adventures, silly shenanigans with his friends and their pink sheep. The friends being Shane, Philip, Adam, Gavin, and Pinky, the pink sheep. All of which, besides the sheep, are actually my friends in real life, because the show was made about my group of friends at the time when I was about 13, 14, and it's kind of just stuck at that age. But if you'd like to check it out, it's on YouTube, on my channel. I've been doing it for, making it for 10 years, and if you'd like to give it a look, it's very fun. The newest episode just came out recently, Haunted House Hijinks. I'm very proud of it, so go give it a watch. So I want to talk about the next Billy's Toon Times, and beyond. I want to talk about the future of it because I've got a lot of things to talk about. I got a lot of things to think about. I got a lot of things to show. I've been working on the show for 10 years. I got a lot of ideas that I can't talk about, but I'm going to because fuck it. If you don't know the story of Billy's Toon Times or the chronology of it, the timeline of how everything is happening, I didn't either at one point. But I want to explain it to you, episode by episode and kind of how it's been progressing. So let's catch up. Billy, Shane, and Gavin realize they have to return to school after the summer and decide to do everything they can, montage style. It's Halloween, and the boys say bye to Shane, who's going to the army. Now introducing Philip and Adam to the cast. They all get ready to trick-or-treat. Shane ends up breaking into a zombie-making robot and turns the whole town into zombos. This machine also made the boys gain the powers of the costumes they wore. With their powers, they get ready to fight some zombies and finally attack the robot. It gets destroyed and they lose their powers, revealing Shane as the culprit and go home. One day, the boys realize they're out of food and have to go to the food market. Shane gets distracted and impulsively buys a pet sheep. It knocks over a tin of pink paint and soaks itself in it. Philip tries to wash it off, but to no avail. Shane ends up loving it and naming the sheep Pinky. He's the best boy. The next week, while the boys are on a walk, they stumble upon an old chest in an alleyway. Philip blows it open with a C4 and unleashes an evil spirit orb upon the town and swapping the boys' bodies. They search around the town until Billy decides to mess with it, filling the chest with soda and ruining the orb's chest house thing. They let it live with them even though he's evil, and that's not a good idea. A long time ago, there was a boy named Billy who was friends with a princess named Gwendolyn, and one day while they were together, she was kidnapped by her father. Billy recruits his friend Shane, blacksmith Adam, an old color-changing wizard, and a minotaur that's in need of a goldfish to help save her. They find out Gwen was actually kidnapped by an evil king that has returned to take his throne. The boys take on the evil king and win, trapping his soul in a sword. We realize this was all a story told to the real boys by an old hobo in an alleyway. But was it really a story? A few days later, there's an ad on TV that enticed the boys to go on a free cruise ship ride. They all get on board and begin to relax when pirates take over the ship. The boys scare them off, but know they'll come back again. Gavin takes lead and gets the ship ready for the next attack. When the pirates return, they're bombarded with potatoes and sail away. Gavin ends up crashing the ship into the dock of the town. Womp womp. The boys get ready for a magic show when they get mistaken for ghost hunters by the mayor, although his daughter Gwen doesn't see through it, and his advisor Eric seems pretty quiet about the whole thing. The boys spend the night hunting ghosts for a big reward, which doesn't take long. They run around getting chased before making a plan, which ends up not working, but still gets the ghost. The ghost is revealed to be the magician's assistant from the show they were going to. She gets arrested, and the boys receive their reward of tickets to a town-wide laser tag game in a few weeks. Whew, okay, that was about 10 years worth of talking. So, where we are in the story right now. Haunted House Hijinks just came out, and I'm really glad everybody liked it. I'm really appreciative of all the comments and what people thought of it. I'm really proud of that. It took 4-ish years to make, just because it was so on and off. I had other jobs. I was trying to pay bills and things, and just kind of keep myself afloat while also working on it when I had the time. I'm just really happy with how it all came out. And thank you for my patrons for also supporting me and making this possible to even exist. Because without your help and donations, it would have been way more difficult to produce. So I really do appreciate that. And if you want to be a patron, you can go check out my Patreon. It's got all the beats behind the scenes stuff. Okay, so now that's out of the way, I'm going to talk about the future. I'm going to talk about Billy's Toon Times. I'm going to be talking about the plan I have for the series going forward after Haunted House, what I want to do, and yeah, it's a lot. It's been a long time coming, and I know that I'm probably not going to finish it. Billy's Toon Times Season 2 has basically been fully thought out, planned, and scripted for since 2016, really. During the Season 1 finale, I planned basically all the episodes that were going to come out post this, at least all 5 or 6, and just kind of gave myself a basic idea of like an episode idea, and made a script about that. These episodes are still going to be the lol random episodes that I had prior in Season 1, but with more of an overarching plot, so more of a there's something going on in the background, but we don't know about that yet. I wanted It's Dangerous to Go Alone to be kind of like not a prophecy, but like a parallel to what's going to happen, like a warning of kind of what's going down in season two. And that idea has never changed. That's still the same plan going forward, but the characters and the ideas and plot lines and just overall lore has changed. Nothing in any episodes have been retconned or anything, but I've connected everything in a way that makes sense to me. I plan for season 2 to also have 5 episodes in hopes that I would figure out season 3 as I went along. Season 3 was this kind of like, I don't know where it's going to go from here. And I still don't. I do. What I planned for the season was, in order, a superhero episode, a cowboy episode, a pirate episode, a haunted house episode, and then a sci-fi episode. The order of these things changed, obviously, as we know now, and plot lines have differed and been more refined. So, episode 1 to 5 in season 2 are as follows. Shipwrecked, Haunted House Hijinks, Not So Superheroes, The Wildest Westest Episode, and Loser Tag. Loser Tag being the season finale. You guys already know about the first 2, Shipwrecked and Haunted House Hijinks, so let me tell you about the other 3. Not So Superheroes is obviously a superhero episode. Basically, the guy's TV breaks down after watching a superhero cartoon. They get turned into superheroes by the orb and try to save the day, try to save the town, but are really bad at it. And then a villain comes along, and they got to fight the villain. And it's a wacky, goofy superhero episode, but it's got some of the lore points that are kind of only able to happen in the episode, which I will get to. Then the Wildest Westest episode is Cowboys, another simple one. Where they go to a cowboy amusement park, kind of like a fair, but for cowboys, and they're like, oh, this is boring. Let's make our own fun. So they leave Billy to rob a bank, and hijinks ensue. Billy comes with them. They have their own gang. They do a bunch of chasing, a bunch of train stuff. And then get caught by the sheriff at the end until they ride into the sunset. And then you have Loser Tag. Loser Tag is the season finale. It's the biggin. And I'm just going to be straight up. I'm just going to spoil it just because the premise of it has to be a spoiler. And then I will explain why this is all happening. So they wake up one morning. They're like, oh, it's, in Haunted House Hijinks, they were given the tickets to a laser tag thing. That's now happening on this day. They're ready for it. They're prepping for it. They're all ready for it. Billy's like, where's Shane? Shane isn't here. And they're the rest of the guys are like, oh, he's probably at the laser tag place. And he's like, okay. And they get there, but he's not there. And they need a 5th member. So Gwen joins in. Gwen's like, oh, you guys need a 5th player? I don't have anybody to play with. Let's compromise. So while they wait on Shane, she is their sub and goes in. And they do laser tag. The whole town is doing it. You see all of the previous characters from other episodes. It's a whole lot of fun. The mayor and all of them are kind of they're all set up and everything. The mayor's hosting it, and they do laser tag, and it's cool and it's fun and it looks glowy and stuff. And then Billy becomes the last one to win. Like Billy doesn't want to fight, so he hides away from everybody and becomes the last one standing. And it's like, yay, until he gets shot by another player, a mysterious player, and it's revealed to be the orb. The orb is out of the house. The orb is in a weird suit, and after all that, we pan up into the buildings, and there's Eric. Eric from Haunted House Hijinks. He is standing up on one of the buildings and knocks down a sign revealing Shane and Pinky tied up, dangling for their lives. And below them is a portal. And Eric is giving a big monologue, a big speech about the fact that he wants power and he wants control. And the orb flies up to him and is like, I'm going to help him, until Eric breaks the orb in his hand. Basically, power morphs through him, and it turns out that it's the evil king. The Evil King is back. So let me explain, okay? Let me explain, okay? Season 2 is a story about Eric, and we don't really get any explanation for Eric until the season finale, and possibly a short to go alongside it. Or a comic I was also thinking of. But season 2 is the story of Eric's rise to power, and why that is happening is because Eric has been a fanatic of the Evil King and the entire lore internally in the show of the It's Dangerous to Go Alone plot. He's been so fascinated by the fact that Hoboken, Hoboken was where everybody lives, is built upon the kingdom that this all happened, and that the orb, he knows what the orb is, and it's the same orb that the Evil King is holding in the tapestry in It's Dangerous to Go Alone. It is his power, and one day, Eric finds the sword. It's in a museum or something, and he steals it. He breaks out and steals it. And the sword then kind of possesses him, and he becomes Evil King, or at least in mind he becomes Evil King. He doesn't have his power because he doesn't have the orb. So the whole plot, the whole overarching plot that's happening is that the guys are trying to be thrown out of their house because the orb is in there. The orb is stuck in there. They're it's kind of like a genie thing, right? So the orb is stuck in the house, and Eric is trying to get the guys out of the house. The shipwreck episode where it's like, oh, you'll definitely be coming back, is because they don't want him to come back. They want to get rid of them. That's why there's pirates. And Haunted House Hijinks, Eric's the one that sends the boys in to get scared by Sharon, the ghost. Because he's like, well, they're gonna, that will get rid of them, and then that doesn't happen either. And then in the superhero episode, he gets Viscount, which is the villain, to then also try and get rid of them. Same with the Western episode. It's all this scheme to try and get the guys out of their house and out of town, so that the Evil King can reprise his power. Because he knows that these guys are similar to the guys that fought him. So he's like, well, I need to get rid of these dudes. And they're stupid. So I can try that. And so by the time Laser Tag comes around, he's planned this. That this was his last precaution. And makes an example of the entire city. He's like, oh, I'm going to break this fucking thing. The orb has no idea. The orb doesn't remember. The orb just knows he's evil. But breaks the orb, becomes Evil King, takes over the entire city and turns it into his kingdom again. And that is the end of season 2, and that is where I wanted to stop it. That's where I wanted to finish it and say, you know what, it's up to interpretation now. Because I love Billy's Toon Times, but I know I'm not going to finish it. I know I can't finish it. But I do have an idea for season 3. So in Loser Tag, Shane gets sent into the portal. And he's gone. The Evil King is back. Shane's gone. Billy tried saving him. Nosebleed. He's just there, sitting in pain, with the world being taken over. And that's kind of the end of the season 2. Sad, yeah. But I have a continuation idea. Which is, Shane was sent back in time. Shane was sent back to the original time of the Evil King, back when their ancestors were alive, back when King Billy was king. Like, he was sent back, and he's recruiting them to help him and all the rest of them in the future to regain the city back and to stop Evil King. While the guys in the present are still figuring that out and still trying to get an idea to stop Evil King. And I don't have it all planned. And I have a lot written down, I have a lot concepted, but I don't have anything to show. Besides a few, obviously, concepts. But that's it. And, the end will be everybody's back together, and Billy, for once, is like, hey, you know what? Let's go on an adventure. Let's do something. Because Billy has never wanted to go on any of the adventures. He's been the one to be like, okay. But for him to have this kind of, let's go. Let's do this. Come on. Like, it'd be nice. So that's the future of Billy's Toon Times.